After the Doomsday science fiction written in 1975. Story summary 1975, by Sun Lin. It became close friends. A new paradise Mr. Smith organized for the crew to build shelter on land, far from the Titanic. The sailors and young men used pieces of wood, from crates and tarpaulins to construct small houses to live in while they settled down and started their lives. At the same time, the two astronauts on the Earth's orbiting space station, they left the space station and boarded the spacecraft to fly down to Earth. Mr. Smith continued working on the Titanic. He began implementing his plan to create 3 new human models, a woman who laid eggs like chickens and ducks, giving birth quickly and without pain, a person who shed their skin like a snake, and a self-controlled person with a special nervous system. When faced with terrible events or extreme anger that made them want to destroy or kill, their brain would adjust, calming them down, returning them to a normal state, or causing them to faint for a few minutes. Suddenly, a powerful storm struck. A tsunami, as high as hills, swept across the land. The tsunami toppled the houses in the new Garden of Eden, carrying all the houses and people out to sea. The scientists and residents of the new Garden of Eden all perished in the tsunami. Mr. Smith's family, who usually stayed on the ship to manage affairs, and Linda, who was also on the ship to care for Mr. Martha, Mr. Smith's sick wife. She was sick and paralyzed. The tsunami carried the Titanic out to sea. Mr. Smith then continued to navigate the Titanic to a beach in the United States. Previously, Mr. Smith had used radio to communicate with the astronauts on the space station. He knew they had also landed, but he had no means of meeting them. Now, when the Titanic docked in the United States, he used a mobile phone to talk to them. And Mr. Smith did meet them. Unexpectedly, Mr. Smith became infatuated with Alice's beauty and plotted to possess her, even though he knew Henry and Jones were also infatuated with her. One time, Betty took Tony and Linda to the beach. Mr. Smith offered Henry and Jones coffee and secretly slipped the partial brainwashing drug into their drinks. After drinking the drug coffee, they felt dizzy and fell unconscious. Then, Mr. Smith forced Alice to go with him to another place. Betty, Tony, and Linda returned home to find the 2 teenagers still asleep. They woke them up, but the teenagers were dazed and confused. Tony knew Mr. Smith had given them brainwashing drugs. Mr. Smith then took Alice away. Tony was furious at Mr. Smith's actions. Tony drove everywhere to find him. His mother, Martha, died a few days later. Once, Tony and Linda met Mr. Smith on the beach near a lighthouse. Tony confronted him, vehemently accusing him of abandoning Tony's mother, his wife, who was in a coma on the ship, to be with Alice. Mr. Smith knew he couldn't heed Tony's pleas to leave Alice. He used a tear gas gun he kept hidden. He shot Tony and Linda unconscious. Afterward, he locked them inside the lighthouse, securing the door from the outside. Every day, Betty brought food, water, and washed clothes for Tony and Linda. Betty said he had returned to his old home with Alice. But he warned Tony that if he returned, he would kill him. Since Mr. Smith's return, Alice and Betty had to obey him and also take care of Henry and Jones. These 2 were like children. They didn't know how to do anything. Inside the lighthouse there was a bed, a desk, and a computer system. But there was no electricity. Tony looked out the window and saw a solar panel. This panel was covered by a piece of canvas. Perhaps a piece of sail caught in the glass by a storm. Tony found a stick and pushed the canvas off the glass. 2 days later, thanks to the sunlight, the lighthouse had electricity and the computer system was working properly. Tony continued working on the computer. Tony told Linda when she met Betty, and Linda told her it was going to rain. But there was something strange in the rainwater, possibly very toxic. Betty tried to avoid touching or using the rainwater. Just as Tony had predicted, a few days later, it rained heavily, day and night. That morning, the sun shone brightly. Betty came to open the door, bringing food and drinks for Tony and Linda. Betty seemed frightened. She told Tony and Linda that the previous rain had been strange. The rainwater was pink. Mr. Smith and the others had gone out to bathe in the rain. Mr. Smith said he drank the rainwater because it tasted intoxicating, like wine. But just a few hours after the rain shower, Mr. Smith and the others became dazed, as if they'd taken a sleeping potion. Their bodies, in particular, suddenly grew unusually big and tall. They went outside and wandered around as if searching for something. Even the herbs, plants, and creatures grew many times larger than their original size. They became monsters. Linda asked, "What about Alice?" Betty said Alice had also listened to Betty. She didn't like rain showers, but she saw Henry and Jones taking too long. She went out and pulled them back to their room to change their clothes. Then she got wet and became as foolish as them. Tony said he knew it was going to rain again. But the rainwater wasn't poisonous. It was probably just normal rainwater. But Tony said Betty should also be careful not to get wet. A few days later, it rained. Tony looked through the window and saw the rainwater was clear and blue. That morning, Betty brought food for Tony and Linda. Betty said they were all gone. They looked like giants. Betty said Tony and Linda should move back home because they no longer feared Mr. Smith. Betty said she was very sad and lonely. She only had Tony and Linda. Adam and Eve. Tony and Linda got into Betty's car and packed their belongings to go home. Tony wanted to find the antidote for those who had been brainwashed. While cleaning Mr. Smith's room, Tony found an envelope in Mr. Smith's desk drawer. Mr. Smith wrote, "Dear Tony, from your father Smith." In the letter, Mr. Smith said he deeply regretted what had happened. He wanted Tony and Linda to come back to him. He also revealed where he kept the antidote, so Tony could restore normal life for Henry and Jones. Tony was overjoyed to read Mr. Smith's letter. He went to Betty's room to tell her the news. But it was too late to save Henry and Jones, as they had turned into giants and disappeared. Tony and Linda noticed Betty looked tired. Linda asked what was wrong. Betty explained that she had had cancer for a long time, but she had endured it knowing it was incurable. Betty said she was happy to see Tony and Linda again. She blessed them and advised them to live happily together and create a new generation of humanity. Tony and Linda would be the ancestors of mankind. Betty named Tony was Adam and Linda was Eve. A few days later, Betty passed away. Tony and Linda stood sadly before Betty's grave.